Good evening, y'all. Welcome to Apron Streams. If this is your first time to be here, I'm delighted to have you in the kitchen with me. And if you've been here before, well, you know what to expect, and I'm glad you're back with me around the butcher block learning something new or watching me do whatever I'm doing or listening to me rattle. I have about 6 overripe bananas, and I have a recipe that I was given in like 1991 that's a really good banana bread recipe, and I can't remember if I've made it before, and I didn't go back through the list to see, but I wanted to share it with y'all because it's very moist and good, and I'm going to add a little something extra to it that y'all might do and you might not do, but it makes it a little more moist and have a little more flavor. So y'all get on over here, and we're going to go over to the KitchenAid, and I'm going to get it going. I put my butter out early this morning so it would get soft, and the bananas are already pretty soft, and I've got everything else I need over there by the mixer. So come on over there and we'll get some banana bread in the oven, and my folks will have something good with their tea or coffee or water or whatever they choose to drink. Okay, the first thing I need to do, and I'm doubling the recipe, I'm going to put 2 sticks of softened butter into my bowl. And most of the time I just use salted butter, unless I really think it's going to affect the integrity of the recipe. I always buy salted butter, so I usually use salted butter. Now I'm going to give this a little stir, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar and a couple of eggs. So let me just get this in the bottom of the pan, and then I'll get the sugar going. Okay, I got the butter stirred a little bit, and I'm going to add 2 cups of just granulated sugar, and I'm going to let that mix until it creams. When your recipe tells you to cream your butter and sugar, it don't mean to just have a little glumpy mess. You need to keep beating it until it's as creamy as you can get it before you add your eggs to it, and that incorporates it, and it affects the texture of what you're making, your cake or your quick bread or whatever. So go ahead and whip it until it gets mixed really well, and then add your eggs one at a time and beat pretty good after each egg. See, that's all looks like it's mixed up pretty good. So I'm going to put 2 eggs in. And I just gathered these so I know they're good. And I'll beat that one a little bit, and then I'll add 1 more. Okay, that one's mixed in really good, so I'm going to add this one. Okay, that's mixed up really good. So what I'm going to do is take my spatula and get it all where I can add my flour to it. Let me add my flour, and then I'll add my bananas. I need 4 cups of flour because it calls for 2 per recipe. So let me get my flour measured, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've put in 2 cups, and there's 2 more to make my 4 cups. I'm going to just mix it. I'm going to just bump this mixer off and on until I get it started incorporating, so I won't have a flour bath. Okay, it's a pretty dry mixture, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding these bananas in. And it's going to take 6 of them. It takes 3 per recipe, and I'm doubling. So I'm going to add 6 bananas to it. I just didn't want them to go to waste. Normally, we'll eat you know, I may have one left and I'll freeze it and cut it up and put it in the freezer to go in a smoothie or something, but 6 of them? I figured I better just make some banana bread and I can freeze part of it for later. I do like to have something like that in the freezer, so if somebody's going to come unexpected, I'll have something to serve them. And when you're going to make banana bread, you do want very ripe bananas. Let me show you the peeling. See how spotted and all it is? It can even be worse than that. I say worse because I don't like them when they get like that to eat. But to cook with, that's what you want. I'm going to hold this top down. Something's wrong with my little thingy. It's not locking it. It's probably tired. It's been used a bunch. Okay, I need to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Again, remember, I'm doubling it. And I need 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of salt. I may have to go get some more vanilla over there. It looks like this one is about empty. I have to refill it because I do like to refill this because it's pretty. That's close enough. And I need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to double it, and that'll be 1 teaspoon. And all I'll have left is my nuts. Get that beater around there out of my way. I want to scrape the bottom and make sure that everything is scraped up. Don't have a clump of flour or butter or any of that in the bottom when I start getting it out to put in my pan. Let's see, headlights coming in. That means my husband is driving up the driveway. Okay, I'm going to put in, I was going to add coconut, but my kids don't, all the grandkids don't like it, so I decided against it. But you can add a little bit of coconut to it, and it sure makes it good. Now, it calls for about 1/2 to a cup of nuts, so I'm going to add some pecans and some walnuts to it. Again, I'm covering it so they won't be all over the floor. Okay, I'm going to move the camera back over to the butcher block and we'll get this in the pans. I took a paper towel and I wiped Crisco into all around on the inside of my loaf pans. And I've got a little bit of flour and I'm just going to bang it all around in there to where it will coat. That's what's greasing and flouring. Most people know that, some of you may not. So if you see a recipe that says to grease and flour your pan, that's what you do, and that keeps it from sticking. Now I've already done this one, so I've got a little excess I got to get rid of, and then I'll get the dough over here and get it in the pans. Okay, I'm going to guesstimate half of this in each pan. And my nuts that I'm putting in here I had toasted probably during Christmas when I was making goodies, and I had some left over, so I do like to toast the pecans and walnuts. It just adds a different flavor. Alright, that's about it. Okay, I've got my oven set on 350. And I'm going to put them in here. Let's see how long the recipe says they need to cook. Well, it says till done. So I'm going to set my timer for about 40 minutes and I'll check them. And maybe 35 because they're in loaf pans. and we'll see what we got going on. So I'll get them in here. And we'll be back in a little bit. While my bread's cooking, I'm going to show y'all a new house tool I got. And you might have one, but I don't. It's got to where when I try to squeeze my mop out, it makes my hands hurt because I got arthritis in them or something. So a friend of mine had gotten this O-Cedar mop, and the mop head just snaps on the bottom, and it's dirty because I used it. But you put your water down in this bucket part here. Let's see what I can do where you can see it. See, it's got a bucket with a handle. Then it has a thing up here that's like a salad spinner, right here. And you put your mop, once you dip it down in the water and you dip it down in the water to mop, you put it right there and there's a pedal. And you just press that pedal one time and see how it's spinning it? And if that doesn't get enough water out, you can press it again and it'll get it pretty dry. And you just hold the handle like, I just put my fingers in a circle around it where it can twirl, and it's dry and ready for you to go on with your mopping business. Now, they sell them at Walmart, but if you get it at Sam's, you get 3 extra mop heads with it, and that makes a big difference. But man, I like this thing. It made I can just dip it up and down in there and then put it in there and punch the pedal and get all the water out of it. I mopped my whole house in it took me about an hour because it's so easy to get the water out of it and keep moving. And it's not heavy because it doesn't hold I don't know how many gallons it would hold. I think I put 2 gallons in there, and I used some Thieves household cleaner from Young Living because it disinfects, and if I could smell, it makes the house smell good, but I still can't smell. But I wanted to share this with y'all. It's O-Cedar is the brand, and a lot of places have them, but and get the one that's red and black. There's different colors, and they say this is the best one. So anyway, I wanted y'all to know about it in case you didn't know. You can get you one, keep your house clean. I'm going to test it and see if my tester comes out clean, and it did not. So it's been in here about 35 minutes. I'm going to cook it for about 10 more, and then we'll check it again. Okay, y'all, I got my bread out, and one part of the top got a little browner than I like, but I had to cook it for an hour. It made a big old nice loaf, and I had to cook it for an hour to get the cake tester to come out. Yeah, the bottom is darker than I wanted, so I don't know. I cooked it at 350 like I always do. I've had this recipe since '96. This one looks better. I guess this pan didn't get as hot as that pan. That one looks a lot better. So I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to slice it and show y'all what it looks like on the inside. It makes a good moist bread, and I like to add some butter on it while it's warm, but I might not do that today. I'm trying to be good, but it's hard to be good when you like good stuff. I don't know. Anyway, y'all need to try this recipe one of these days. You need to get you one of those mops. But I'm not done yet. I'll be back and talk some more. I'm going to let this banana bread cool. Then we'll finish up talking. Here's my loaf of bread all on my Old Country Roses serving platter. Had to get my tea so I could get me a bite of this. And y'all, I like the end piece that has the crust on it. So I'm going to get a bite of that. And I didn't put any butter on it, but I sure wanted to. Let's see what it tastes like. That's good. And if you wanted it sweeter, you could put a glaze on it. But I don't need a glaze. That's very good. And that's the icing on the cake. I hope y'all will try this. If you wrap it up real good and tight and put it in the freezer, Oh my goodness, it's real moist and good when you bring it back out. You can freeze it by the slice or freeze, make you some loaves and get them in the freezer. Now, one recipe makes 3 small loaves or 2 of the bigger, smaller loaves, if you know what I mean. There's different sizes, but I just did it in regular sizes today. It's been a good day today. I got up this morning and I had a gift, the present, and I just opened it up and I just made the most out of it all day long. Y'all need to do that too. And you need to run to the store, pick you up a few extra things, because some of the shelves are empty and I don't know what in the world's going on. I don't know what's causing it. I don't listen to the news because I don't think they tell us what's really the news. And why worry about it? I can't fix it anyway. But I can keep enough food on my shelves to feed my family. So I'm still admonishing you to pick up a few things at the store to stock your pantry. Have the things that your family eats. Don't go listening to everybody on YouTube telling you to get 5 of this and 10 of this and 4 of that. Don't get anything that y'all don't eat. Get what your family eats and have a few extras. We never know what we're facing. There's been some weird things happen. Tornadoes like we've never heard of. Well, you need to have some extra stuff. If your house is the one that's spared, you might need to share with your neighbor if they lost theirs. And you can't do it if you don't make a few preparations. So try to have your pantry stocked for whatever catastrophe occurs. And you'll be glad that you did. Don't forget to be very grateful and thankful for every day that you get to wake up with your feet on the floor and have another day here on this earth. And then after you've been up a little while, go in there and make that bed up, because that's a gift. Wrap it back up. You make your bed because it's a gift that God's given you to enjoy and to rest. And then you go in there at night after a blessed day and you unwrap that gift and you crawl up in there and just get a good night's rest. There's lots of ways to give God praise for what He allows us to have. So don't leave Him out of your picture and out of your life. Give Him praise and thanks. Your day will go a whole lot better. And your family will be a whole lot happier. And y'all will be sweeter to each other if you put Him right in the big middle of everything. Alright, get you an old cedar mop. Keep your floors clean. Get you some stuff in your pantry and keep your table full. And everybody will be happy. And then get right back here in a day or two when you get a notification that I have another video up, and we'll have something else good to work with or eat or talk about or something. The good Lord bless y'all. Keep you safe. And I'll see you shortly.